So we've talked about this project, the new book, Congress and the Freemasons. It will be in stores by the time that this podcast is released. You can always get it via his website as well. That's chrisruli.com. We'll make sure to have the links here in the notes for this episode. We don't want Chris to sell his books. That's my job. As we're celebrating America 250 this summer. Perfect timing again, man. This like this guy had his own trestle board and circled this about 1,000 times for a date.
Years in the making.
Let's talk about the years part. So I know
Sure.
You came and most graciously spoke at my lodge here in DC. You've visited several lodges to talk about the White House and the Freemasons. How soon or during that project did you go, hey, you know what? I think I might have another book here, and I didn't realize this was going to take 2, 3, 4, how many years to get to the final product?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was easy because when I was working on when I was working on the White House and the Freemasons, you would find instances where the President of the United States invites members of Congress to participate. And so what I did was during that time, I would just, on another notepad or another sheet, I would just quickly jot down every time I would see a congressman participate or, attend a dinner or a meeting or maybe speak, right? Just like speak as the keynote speaker of a Masonic activity. And so I would write that down and knock that down. And then as I was wrapping up my Lafayette book, as I was going around the United States preparing for Lafayette's visit, which I think we talked about. Yes, I think we certainly talked about.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I thought, this is the right time to start really focusing on Congress because it's a topic that comes up. It's a topic that even during my discussions in the White House, people will bring up, during the Q&A, hey, have you thought about doing Congress? Or, hey, have you thought about focusing on, the other different branches? And it was always something I wanted to focus on. And I thought because we're celebrating America 250 soon, it seems appropriate to offer this to our Masons.
I've secretly written down the name of my famous congressman who I found out was a Freemason and was kind of a surprise to me. I'll tell you, I got to meet him in person at one of our District of Columbia Masonic congressional breakfasts a few years back and was just blown away to shake this man's hand, and we'll be happy to share that story. But first I wanted to ask you, because I think that's going to be the thing that's going to be surprising to a lot of people. Our presidents, we know some of them, they're on monuments, they're on our money, their pictures are hanging in our lodges, but members of Congress, maybe not so much. So who were some of the key people that you came across and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know this person was a Mason, or I didn't even know who this person was, or that they were a Mason and that they did this great thing to advance our cause?
Yeah, I will admit, as the history nerd in me, I was always interested in the founders and sort of that early group of, founding fathers who were Masons. Not because, I think that, obviously there's an interest in figuring out the questions of how did they contribute to the formation of the United States government. But through my research, I find that there's slight debate over if this guy was a Mason or not. And so there's this sort of puzzle box that is happening, trying to figure out if this guy's a Mason, if this guy's not a Mason, where are we getting our records from? Who said he was a Mason anyway? Where did that start? And so to me, I like unpacking a mystery. And so there's John Dickinson, who sort of has this weird thing of we make him a Mason, but we don't really have any records of it. But other people are saying, oh, no, he was definitely a Mason. Well, how do we know? We just don't. But he's been included in that list. And sort of like what happened in the White House and the Freemasons, these stories, right? This telephone game starts to happen and say, well, of course he's a Mason because so-and-so in so-and-so's book 30 years ago, they wrote that down. And well, where did that person get it? Where did that person get it? From a contemporary standpoint, it has been fun. I don't know. It has been fun reaching out to current members of Congress and, asking if they would be willing to recognize out themselves as Masons. One of the things I realized is in the congressional record, in the past, you used to write down every organization you were a member of when you joined Congress. So in the 1930s and 40s, for example, you see clear as day where they joined the Elks, where they joined the Shriners, where they joined the Masons, where they joined, the Odd Fellows, the Red Men, whatever. And now you're starting to see fewer and fewer people share that information. Congressional records are becoming a lot thinner, a lot smaller, and a lot harder to access.